Welcome to the deep dive. So you sent us something pretty intriguing this time.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Jessica O'Reilly's Hot Sex Tips, Tricks, and Licks. Basically, it's all about using, fingers, lips, tongues for amazing orgasms. Solo or with a partner?
Right. And it's packed, isn't it? Like over 100 techniques listed.
Get this, yeah, over 100. So our mission today, I think, is to pull out the really key, actionable stuff.
Exactly. We want to distill it down,
Yeah.
give listeners the knowledge to maybe enhance things without getting totally overwhelmed by all that info.
Like a shortcut to better sex, maybe.
Basically, yeah, a fast track to understanding some really effective pleasure boosters.
Perfect. Okay, so how are we going to tackle this? We thought we'd start with some foundational tips for better sex overall,
Good starting point.
then dig into techniques specifically for female pleasure, followed by techniques for male pleasure,
Makes sense.
and then wrap up with some ideas for partnered play. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan. Let's dive in. Where do we start with those general tips?
Yeah, the 10 overarching guidelines. The first one, make foreplay, aka flirting, a daily routine. I like this one.
Me too. Because it redefines foreplay, doesn't it? It's not just the 5 minutes before.
Right. It's purposeful flirting, building arousal, connection, all day long. The book mentions simple things like non-sexual touching.
Like brushing a hand against a thigh, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Or sending unpredictable, sexy texts, little notes, keeping it playful.
And the surprise element seems key here. Unexpected gestures, keeping that spark alive, even when sex isn't immediately on the table.
Yeah, it maintains that sort of hum of desire, and it even mentioned evolutionary psychologists.
Like, yeah, what about them?
They think flirting is actually linked to having more sex, like it triggers something primal.
Interesting. But the book also stresses the no pressure aspect, right?
Absolutely critical. It's the chase, the playful back and forth that can be exciting in itself. No obligation.
Good point. Okay, what's tip number 2?
Get oral.
Yes. And the emphasis here is really on communication, isn't it?
Totally. The book basically says good oral sex hinges on talking honestly. Needs, wants, fears, everything.
It's about creating that safe space to be vulnerable and just explore without feeling judged.
Yeah. But, how do you even start that talk? Some people find that awkward.
Well, the book gives some prompts, simple questions like, what feels good to you? Or anything you'd like me to try.
Okay, those are pretty direct. Doable.
And it even touches on dirty talk during oral sex.
Ooh, okay. Which can be intimidating for some.
For sure.
Okay.
But it gives examples starting kind of tame, like, I want to taste you, or you feel so good.
Right, building blocks.
And then suggest maybe sharing fantasies, like threesome ideas, if that's your thing. It's about tapping into the mental side, too.
Getting into their head, yeah.
Yeah.
Enhances the whole thing. Okay, tip 3 is a big one. Unlearn. Forget everything you've learned from mainstream porn.
Yes. Crucial. Porn is entertainment, not education. That's the core message.
And it sets such unrealistic expectations, right? Can really mess with real-life experiences.
Definitely. The book gets specific, too. Like, female orgasms aren't always those loud porngasms.
Yeah.
They can be much quieter, more varied.
Good point. And foreplay. Often totally skipped in porn, especially before anal. But it's usually essential in reality.
Absolutely. And things like men sometimes losing erections. Totally normal. Happens. But you don't see that vulnerability in porn usually.
No, it's all perfect performance. And the bodies, well, they often don't reflect the average person.
Not at all. So the advice is, let go of those comparisons. Focus on your reality. Which leads nicely into the next tip. Get comfortable with your body.
Body image. Such a huge factor in sexual enjoyment. If you're self-conscious, it's hard to be present.
So true. And the book offers practical ways to work on this, like exercise, but for connection and mood, not just changing your shape.
Right. And eating well to feel good, nourishing yourself.
And self-touch is mentioned too. Really getting to know your own body, what feels good, appreciating it. Not just for orgasm, but general awareness.
Yeah, like exploring your own map and building self-esteem outside of just appearance helps too, apparently.
Definitely. Okay, next. Be present. A modern challenge, for sure.
Oh, tell me about it. Mind's wandering off to work, emails. The book cites a stat, something like 10% of people text during sex.
Wow.
Huh?
Seriously. That's wild. But it highlights the distraction issue.
So how do we combat that? The book has tips, right?
Yeah. Things like using a blindfold to focus senses, keeping devices out of the bedroom, obvious but important.
Crucial.
Focusing on breath, meditating even, slowing things down, really savoring sensations.
I like the idea of making a quick to-do list beforehand to get nagging thoughts out of your head.
That's a practical one. And just being gentle with yourself if your mind does wander. Bring it back.
Okay, what's next? Be a voyeur. Watch your partner orgasm.
Right. This sounds maybe a bit intense, but the logic is solid.
How so?
It argues the best way to learn exactly what your partner likes, the pressure, speed, rhythm right before orgasm, is to actually see it. Watch them pleasure themselves.
Or guide your hand, maybe.
Exactly. It's like getting a live demonstration of their personal pleasure map.
That makes sense. Plus, the book notes it can be really intimate and, well, hot.
Definitely adds a layer of connection and arousal. Okay, onto one you flagged as a potential game changer.
Ah, yes. Use lube. Seems basic, but...
But so important.
Yeah.
And not just for dryness. The book says it enhances everything: fingering, oral, massage, anal. Reduces friction, increases pleasure and safety.
It mentions water-based, silicone-based, the usual suspects, but I liked the fun ideas.
Like what?
Rubbing flavored lube on your lips before oral, using a makeup brush to apply it,
All playful.
or even chilling flavored lube for a cool sensation adds another sensory element.
Nice. Lots of creative potential there. So those are the foundational 10 really solid advice.
Definitely. Okay, shall we move into the techniques, starting with all about her?
Let's do it. The book grounds this section in anatomy first, right? The sweet spots.
Yeah, briefly mentions the vulva, that's the external bits, the labia, the clitoris, which it points out is purely for pleasure.
Good reminder.
Also the G-spot, perineum, the bit between vulva and anus, just mapping out the territory.
Okay, sets the stage. Then it gets into hot moves to rile her up, like warm-up acts.
Exactly. Building excitement, one called the pussy pocket caught my eye, palm on the Venus mound, fingers cupping the labia, kind of an undulating motion.
Oh, interesting. And it said you could do that over clothes, too.
Yeah, like a tease to build desire early on.
Clever.
What else? No hands massage, using anything but your hands to caress, chin, lips, feet.
Okay, that sounds fun. Gets creative. Different textures.
Yeah. And a variation mentioned using a lubed penis in your hand while doing the no hands thing elsewhere.
Wow, layers of sensation there.
Then the tongue trail, partner face down, bum up, tracing with the tongue down the back, towards and between the buttocks, varying speed.
Evocative. And it gently introduces the idea of exploring the anal area's sensitivity there, too, with consent.
Right. And Picasso, using a soft makeup brush and lube to paint on her body,
Artist.
could add breath, edible stuff like chocolate sauce or melted body candles, carefully checking temperature, of course.
Of course. Sounds very sensory. And it mentioned this as a safe way to explore near the anus.
Yeah, gentle introduction. And finger lick, focusing on the outer vulva first, using tongue and lube, teasing, resisting going straight inside, builds anticipation.
Good strategy. Okay, moving up a level. Hotter tricks to rock her world.
Yep. More intensity now. Cross my fingers, doggy position, inserting crossed index and middle fingers, then rotating, scooping.
Sounds like it targets different internal spots.
Must do. Then come hither, index finger, palm up, curling motion inside to hit the G-spot on the front wall.
The classic G-spot move.
Yeah.
And the TikTok variation.
2 fingers sweeping against that upper wall, similar target.
Gotcha. And just, right.
That one's interesting. Kneeling over her, middle finger just on the clitoral hood, gentle pulsing or lifting. More subtle clitoral play.
Sometimes less is more, right?
Yeah.
Not always direct, intense pressure needed.
Exactly. Now for the peak section. Hottest techniques for mind-blowing orgasms.
Okay, the big guns.
Sweet pinch. Index finger inside on the G-spot, thumb pinching the clitoral hood. In and out motion, combining internal and external.
Multitasking.
The human vibrator. Using your mouth for suction and making buzzing or moaning sounds around the vulva, moving to the clit.
Creative. Mimicking a vibrator with your own body. Very intimate.
Then the aficionado. This one sounds complex. Middle and ring fingers pressing up inside for the G-spot, thumb on the clitoral hood,
Okay.
and the other hand pressing on her lower abdomen.
Wow, that's hitting multiple points of leverage for G-spot stimulation. Targeted.
Seems like it. Bad manners is simpler just combining oral sex with explicit, dirty talk about desires.
The power of words and actions together. Potent.
And finally, the 3-way. Simultaneous stimulation. Clitoris with tongue, vagina with thumb, and perineum anus with index finger.
Whoa. That's comprehensive. Definitely advanced technique covering a lot of ground.
For sure. Okay, that's a lot for female pleasure. Ready to switch to all about him?
Let's do it. Same structure, starting with anatomy.
Yep. His sweet spots. Briefly covers the head, shaft, corona, the ridge. Frenulum under the head, super sensitive.
Right.
Perineum between scrotum and anus. Testes and the internal prostate. Reminds us it's not just the penis.
Good point. Okay, then hot moves to rile them up.
First one, the hot trace. Tongue tracing circles on nipples, then down pelvic area, around the penis, base to tip, but lightly, teasingly.
Nice slow buildup. Variation goes down the thighs and around the balls, too.
Exactly. Sensual exploration. Then the licking hand, using lubed index and middle fingers to lick the shaft, different motions.
Mimicking a tongue with fingers. And the fantasy suggestion of multiple tongues adds a mental element.
Right. And the tease, reverse cowgirl position. Breathing on thighs, slow thigh massage, brushing penis lightly with the backs of hands, wrists without direct contact initially.
Ooh, major anticipation builder.
Very deliberate teasing.
Totally. And the wet pole dancer. Tongue licking all around the shaft, corona, head, using different patterns, flicks, lines, figure eights.
Lots of tongue technique practice suggested there, like on your wrist. Yeah, to get the motions down. Okay, hotter tricks to rock his world.
Stepping it up again.
The taste tester.
Thumbs massaging circles on the frenulum corona while sucking the tip and flicking the opening, the meatus.
Very focused stimulation on the most sensitive parts of the head.
The lifesaver. Cupping the base with finger thumb, like an O shape, stroking up down while licking, sucking the head.
Combined shaft stroking with oral on the head.
Better than, okay. Using the OK hand sign, both hands, stroking up the shaft, popping over the head with lube, alternating twist direction.
Sounds like a unique texture and rhythm. The pop adds something.
Yeah. And ringmaster, thumb and index finger wrapped around the base like a human cock ring during oral sex.
Ah, to potentially increase engorgement and intensity. Makes sense.
Okay, ready for the hottest techniques for mind-blowing orgasms for him?
Bring it on.
The money move. Tongue over lower teeth, upper lip over upper teeth, creating a tight, sucking grip.
Okay, using the mouth structure for maximum suction. Intense. The deep throat. Pretty self-explanatory name. The book mentions swallowing briefly and alternatives if that's not desired.
Good to acknowledge preferences there.
The penis guru. 3 fingers pressing on the perineum while stroking the shaft with the other hand. Focuses on that inner bulb stimulation.
Right, stimulating that sensitive spot between the scrotum and anus, which connects internally. Important area.
And finally, I can't believe it's not vagina. Using 2 lubed hands at 90 degrees to create suction while stroking.
Trying to mimic vaginal sensation with hands. And the blindfold suggestion adds to the intrigue.
Definitely playful. Wow, okay, that covers a lot of ground for both female and male-specific techniques.
It really does. So the last section pulls it together. Sex play for 2.
Yeah. First up, sharing is caring. 69 and other variations covers the basics of simultaneous oral, mentions the classic 69 and the 68 variation.
Standard stuff, but good to include for mutual pleasure.
Then it talks about multiple successive orgasms for women. Big topic.
And the key takeaway is possibility, but no pressure.
Right. Exactly. Don't make it a goal that creates anxiety. It offers strategies, though. Full body stimulation, fantasy, teasing away from hot spots briefly, and pulsing the clitoral hood during orgasm contractions to potentially trigger another.
Interesting techniques to explore, gently.
Next, anal play. It emphasizes the butt is sensitive for everyone, mentions cheeks, crack, anus, internal, external sphincters.
And safety is paramount here, isn't it? What are the rules?
Oh, yeah, very clear. Lots of lube. Go slow, gradually, focus on breath. Stop if there's any pain.
Crucial.
Explore on yourself first, maybe. Constant feedback. Use toys with flared bases only. No cross-contamination separate toys. Clean everything. And walk beforehand.
Really important safety guidelines. It mentions some techniques, too.
Briefly. Butt massage, electric slide, rhythmic thrusting, tongue play around the area.
Okay. And finally, under-partnered play.
Just a quick but vital reminder on safer sex. Using condoms, latex polyurethane, gloves or finger cots for manual sex, and regular STI testing.
Essential basics. Always important.
Phew. Okay, I think that covers the main territory of hot sex tips, tricks, and licks. We had the general tips, female techniques, male techniques, and partnered play.
Yeah, we've unpacked a lot. Hopefully this deep dive gives listeners a good shortcut to the core ideas in Dr. O'Reilly's book. A real range of options there.
For sure. It's a lot to take in, but hopefully also inspiring. We really encourage everyone listening to just, think about what we discussed.
Absolutely. Which tips resonated? Which techniques sparked some curiosity? What made you think, maybe I could try that? Or wonder what my partner would think of that.
Exactly. And that leads us to our final thought for you to mull over.
Okay.
Given this huge variety of techniques we just explored and how much the book really hammers home the importance of communication and exploration, what new aspect of your own or your partner's erogenous zones are you most intrigued to learn more about now?
Hmm.
And maybe more importantly, how could starting an open, honest conversation about that curiosity be the real key to unlocking that deeper discovery together?